Aries, how are you doing? How are you doing? You have Pluto in your chart, just like everybody, making its move into Aquarius after 15 years or so in Capricorn. Once it goes into Aquarius, we're in for a 19-20 year ride of this. And so let's talk about what that's going to mean for you. It doesn't necessarily all happen on the first day that Pluto goes into Aquarius, but you got a lot of signals about a new direction. And it's cool. Like the energy, the main thing to understand is Pluto in Aquarius is very different from Pluto in Capricorn the last 15 years. The last 15 years for most people will contain beautiful moments of joy and happiness, and along with some hardship. Just because 15 years have passed, a lot of life has happened. But if you look back to 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, those 4 years give you a sense of how Pluto transformed your life back then when it went into Capricorn, a very different energy, a very different sign, very different place on your chart. We won't go into the past. We're just going to look forward. But don't worry if you're like, oh, those years were really hard. Oh my God, is that what's going to happen? No, no. Now, just like with the last 15 years, the next 20 years will contain a lot of life, a lot of living. And so you're going to have highs, you're going to have lows, you're going to have joys and celebrations, along with some disappointments and sadness. That's life. So 20 years of life is going to contain those things. But the themes that are happening now in November through the end of the year, into next year, and really even in the next 3 years, 4 years, that is really going to show you a lot about your own life direction. You're going to see the world change a lot. And this is just a cyclical thing that happens. We've never experienced, anybody alive today has never experienced Pluto in Aquarius, but you have experienced Pluto moving into a new sign. And you've lived to tell the tale. That's a hard one to say. So it's going to, mostly I want you to know it's going to be okay. And Aquarius, like I said, very different energy. So let's talk about the energy of Aquarius. It's first and foremost much lighter by definition. It's an air sign. Capricorn was an earth sign. And Capricorn, is the same as Virgo and Taurus, but also unique. Capricorn really represents deep into planet Earth, like way down tectonic plates, molten lava, magma, like way down in the earth. The heaviest sense of earth is in Capricorn, as opposed to Taurus and Virgo. Of the 3 earth signs, Capricorn's the heaviest. If you think in terms of weightiness and seriousness, Capricorn has the weightiest, most earthy, heaviest energy. Now you're going to, of the 3 air signs, arguably Aquarius is the lightest, the airiest, because it's not just airy and more movable. It's space. Aquarius really is about space, the universe, the solar system, big space, the lightest, different gravity levels. So it's the furthest from Capricorn in that sense. So the energy is going to be much lighter, quicker, whereas the last 15 years, it may have seemed like some things in your life were incredibly slow to evolve. It may have felt like your business world, building any new business or new career, may have felt like, oh, this is just so agonizingly slow, but you did build something. You'll look back and recognize at the end of the day, at the end of this time with Pluto and Capricorn, you have indeed built some really solid stuff, and you've just come light years, despite the fact that sometimes it just felt agonizingly slow and choppy and hard to build your business life. and maybe even your new reputation, like what you represent in the world, how people see you. That's undergone a huge evolution that you've worked hard on. Sometimes not because you wanted to, you just had to for some reason, but your career, you really have built something. And so, despite the slog, it may have felt like a slog. Now Pluto's leaving that area. So things may start to happen really fast in your career zone and what you're doing out in the world. And career can mean anything. It's just how you're seen from afar, what people recognize you as. It's the stuff if they literally see you walking down the street, they recognize some stuff about you. If they see your house or your address, they know something about you based on your address. They know, by looking at your resume, some stuff about you. It's that level of, like what hundreds could see about you versus like your closest friends. So that transformation already took place. Now, you're moving into this area that's very futuristic for everyone, but for you, it's your literal future. Now it's time to kind of get rid of all the stuff that's not working and build the stuff that will work. And so it's a great time for starting over in terms of your future plans. You may feel the reality, the truth of the fact that what you thought your future plans were going to be 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years, even 2 years ago, maybe even a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, are not indeed your future plans. Your future plans will undergo and how you build your life, moving out, your vision of your own future, and even the future of what you want in the world has drastically changed, or will, if it hasn't already, but you feel it. You feel the truthiness of this, even if it's not clear. And one thing you should know is it won't be super clear right now. It's not going to be crystal clear what your future is. So it's not like you suddenly get this brilliant insight on the day Pluto goes into, which is 19th, 20th, kind of over the span of those 24 hours. So it's not like, you might, some people might, but that's like a portion of you. But don't be concerned if you don't have like this brilliant flash of insight, like, aha, now I know, I see it all. That's not really the way it works. It's going to take a few years, but you feel the essence of it. A lot of you in your bones, in your marrow, in the ether, you feel that it's there, but it may not be 100% clear. And the good news is with Aquarius, you will get moments of insight, moments of understanding, and it will come. So Aquarius, like if you look at an actual Aquarius person, some of the qualities of an Aquarius person flow into this area of the chart. So an Aquarius person is very bright, like inventive, not creative like Picasso, but who knows, maybe Picasso was an Aquarius, we'll have to look it up. But, not like creative, like, oh, I'm going to paint this room pink, although that is part of it maybe, but it's more inventive. It's more futuristic. It's more brilliant flashes of genius. And that's what you can expect for yourself about how you're going to build your future business, your future life. You will get direction, but it will tend to come in not at all, and then suddenly in a big boom, like a big flash of lightning. So again, you may go for weeks in the dark, like, I don't know how to make this decision. It's all dark, darkness and dragons in my head. And then suddenly a brilliant flash of insight comes in. So you'll find your way. It's just going to be in this very interesting Aquarius-like fashion. And I would totally expect you to change your communities, who you associate with. A lot of you will be joining communities, joining forces with people to do maybe something philanthropic, or you have a vision for the future. And the thing to remember about this is Pluto is cyclical. It'll go through cycles, just the way your career went through several cycles. The way you envisioned your career went through several cycles, and the reality of your career over the last 15 years. It's the same with Pluto here. Pluto will still have cycles. So you'll have times when Pluto is cycling down into like the more unknown, like the feeling of the unknown. But then it's going to cycle back up like springtime with brilliant, those brilliant ideas, flashes of insight. Things will feel like they're coming to life. And through those cycles, you're not going back to square one over and over again. Because just like in the past 15 years, you're not at square one. You're not, you have the benefit of the past 15 years and what you built for yourself in your career and how people see you. You have, that's there solid, like Pluto, like Capricorn. It'll be the same here. It's not like you're cycling over the same spot over all the time, and feeling hopeless. It's more like a spiral that moves forward than a circle that just keeps repeating itself. So it's not like Groundhog Day, just so you know. It's more, I don't know what it's like, but it's different. It's a spiral that moves, so it's circling through the Pluto cycle, but it's moving forward. So you'll be building something very inventive, new, and possibly like no one's ever seen or you ever thought would happen. Your life is going to transform in ways you never would have foreseen. So there'll be the surprising element to it. And let's see what else we can say. The main thing is to keep track of how when you're acting from a place of fear. The one thing about Pluto is that's hard is it brings up all your worst fears, and you have to confront often within yourself. Some of them are fears about the future, fears about the world. That's definitely there for everyone and you. But the hardest thing about Pluto is the fears that come up inside you about you and your ability to build a life, build a future, build something that is not fully understood by you right now. There may be some fear about stepping into the future if you can't see it fully. And so just keep an eye on that and know that Pluto rules fear. The best way to deal with Pluto fear is to face it, to confront it head on, to, if need be, get therapy, get in a support group. But the thing with Pluto is face the fear. If you run from it, it just gets worse and worse and bad things happen. So you want to confront your fear, acknowledge the fear, and work with your fear. Not from your fear, like doing knee-jerk reactions out of fear, but to work with the fear so you dissolve the fear and you can make better decisions for yourself. So that's it in a nutshell. Don't be scared of Pluto, but know that fear is a part of life, and it's there for us to work with, to figure it out so that we don't have to live in fear, okay? But lots of exciting things for your future. You have the opportunity to completely shape your future in a brand new way. And if you're looking for community that really feels like your people, you can find that. But you'll be building. You'll be, searching, building. And by the end of 20 years, good with it. You'll have like this really strong sense of community with whatever that community is. And your future, you'll know, it will be 20 years from now, so you gotta know. But you've rebuilt your life in a way that's gonna stick through this transit. And it's an adventure. Think of it like adventure. And what do adventurers in movies do? They have to confront their fears over and over and over again and move through them so they can, live. But it's not, necessarily going to be life-threatening kind of fear, but it can feel that way. If you're scared about something inside yourself, if you doubt yourself, it can feel life or death. So the stakes can feel that high, even if they're not. So, but Pluto helps you deal with your fear. In addition to having you confront your fear, it also gives you the toolbox to deal with your fear. So it's giving you gifts at the same time and showing you can do stuff. that you didn't think you could do. So that's the cool part. All right, Aries, happy Pluto to Aquarius.